Good evening, everybody. It's been a while since I've read a story to you, so I thought, why not read some Christmas stories? Do you see my tree back here? Isn't it pretty? And I even have spinning ornaments. So for my first Christmas story, I'm going to read Bear's First Christmas. It started to snow, and a bear, very young, caught 2 or 3 flakes on the tip of his tongue. The coming of snow could mean only one thing. It meant the bear had to sleep until spring. Down a hill which was steep, past tall bluffs which were steeper, the bear trekked through the woods that grew deeper and deeper. He trekked on a path, past a lake sandy shore, and at last found a cave with a rough stone floor. He was looking for a cave to go to sleep in for the winter. Did you know bears sleep all winter? At the mouth of the cave, the bear noticed a tree, which struggled to grow where no tree ought to be. In the view the bear got from the mouth of the cave, the tree looked quite small, but also quite brave. As he rested his head on his furry soft paw, the brave little tree was the last thing he saw. And then his eyes closed, and on the rough stone he drifted to sleep, all alone, all alone. The winter closed in. Whoops, let me see if I can do this better. The winter closed in, and the days and days passed, while the wind from the north blew its shivery blast. On the floor of the forest the snow rose and rose, and on the lakes and the streams all the rivers did freeze. They froze. The bear slept, and he dreamt of the coming of spring, and the showers of rain, and the flowers she'd bring, and the birds who'd return and who'd swoop through the skies. But a faraway sound made him open his eyes. There's the bear sleeping. I wonder what he heard. He stepped from his cave and looked toward a hill. The shadows he saw all remained very still. But on the wings of the wind, from across the cold ground, came the strains of a soft and mysterious sound. He hears something. I wonder what he hears. The bear followed the sound, but it stayed very faint and was lost by and by in a crow's harsh complaint. The crow cawed, and his caw seemed to say he needed some help finding food right away. In all those deep woods there was no one to hear except the young bear, and to him it was clear he'd have to hike home, then search high and low for some sort of food for the shivering crow. The crow is hungry, and Bear's going to find it some food. Home he trudged with the snow to his knees, and returned with some honey, a comb from the bees. The crow pecked his fill of that treat from the bear. Then he spread his black wings, and he took to the air. He followed the bear while the moon hid its face, and the stars twinkled cold in the vastness of space. So there is the bird eating the honey, and look over here, he's following the bear. Do you see him up here in the sky? He's following the bear. They came to a bog where a moose with his teeth tried to scrape at the ice for the weeds underneath. He needed some help, which the bear could well see, so he scraped with his claws till the cold weeds were free. Here he is helping his friend the moose get some weeds. See that? And here's the moose eating, and bear and the bird. The moose ate and he ate. When he'd eaten his fill, he followed the bear and the crow round the hill. The wind whispered sharp, and the night grew unpleasant, and the bear saw ahead the crushed home of a pheasant. A branch overhead had let loose loads of snow that had smashed the bird's home with the force of a blow. Oh no, the birds don't have a home. The snow broke it. The pheasant had chicks, babies, and the chicks' cries were pleas that said to the bear they were scared they would freeze. A nod from the bear let the frightened birds know they should follow his tracks that he made through the snow, which they instantly did, on the chance that they might, with his help, find a place to be safe through the night. So the birds are going to follow the bear too. On the bear trudged till he saw through more snow a lair or a burrow all lit up by a glow. Icicles hung from its top, sharp and bright. Its sides had a space that was open for light. And what's this from inside? That wonderful sound? After all of his trekking, the source had been found. He crept to the light without making a noise. In the glow of the light were 2 girls and 2 boys, and appealing from them came mysterious words, sound to the bear like the music of birds. So they found a house that had kids in it. He stood and he stared, and his eyes grew more wide, for there was a wonderful glowing inside, a glow with warm rays like the sun at its rise, a glow cast from faces, a glow cast from eyes, but a glow most of all from a wonderful tree that the beasts out of doors were astonished to see, a tree dressed in light, each shiny as dew. What the lights meant, though, no animal knew. So here's all the animals looking through the window, and what do they see? They saw the Christmas tree. The family had the Christmas tree lights on. The last of the sounds faded off for the night. The children inside were led slowly from sight. Out of doors the beasts stared as the last embers fell. They thought and they thought, but they still couldn't tell what the meaning could be of the music, the lights, and the gladness inside on this darkest of nights. So they're still staring in the window and looking at the tree. But a spark deep inside them gave off that same glow as they made their way back through the drifts of deep snow. The bear broke the trail, and he made it so wide. The moose, who was giving the birds all a ride, could quickly and easily follow along as the birds on his back sang an improvised song, which was only caw-caw and merely tweet-tweet, but was shared, and by sharing grew more and more sweet. So they're going somewhere. The bear is leading them, and the moose is following with the birds. The bear showed the pheasants his well-hidden den, to say they could stay until spring came again, to which the pheasants were quick to agree, though they and the others all stared at the tree that was growing where no tree should be, for the moon in the sky had sent down a bright beam that touched the tree's branches and made them all gleam, almost as if in the dark of the night the tree had been graced by a magical light. So here's the bear and his friends, and they're back at his cave, and there's that little tree, and it looks like it's glowing in the moonlight. There was room in the cave for the moose and the crow. They needn't trudge off through the dark and the snow. Into the cave the bear squeezed with each guest, and they all settled down to begin their long rest. So now everybody's in the cave with the bear. They're all going to sleep there. They slept, and the tree shed its marvelous light all through the freezing and long winter night. It continued to glow when the winter was done, and the earth had been touched by the warmth of the sun. Uh-oh, winter's over. The sun's coming out. And this bear, in new treks, knows the light never ends. It's the knowledge he shares with his wide-roaming friends. For each friend, though he roams from others apart, carries with him inside him that glow in his heart. The bear's happy. I hope you enjoyed the story, Bear's First Christmas. I love you guys. Good night.